Hey boys, what's going on? Showboy Clazo here today, guys, and today I'm bringing you day 2 spoilers of Unearthed Prophecy. Now, the first card I'm going to bring you guys today is a Songhai card, and it's pretty interesting, so let's hop into it. This card is called Fling. He's a 4-mana 2/4 with whenever this minion is moved for any reason, it deals 2 damage to all enemies around it. Now, with this card, you can set up a lot of plays, man. You can clear the board pretty easily, and I'll tell you why I like this card. I like this card, obviously not because of the body. It's a 2/4 for 4, that sucks. But, I mean, you could buff this thing with, like, Killing Edge to make it a 6/6, which isn't that bad of a body. So, the reason I like this card is because it helps with Swarm when you're playing Songhai. Now, Songhai is a deck that really relies on bursting your opponent down, or at least most decks rely on bursting your opponent down. Not all decks. You can run a minion-based Songhai deck, and I kind of like this card because it pushes that deck. It pushes you. It wants you to play a deck that moves a ton of stuff. Things that run Onyx Jaguar, things that play Kalios. Anyone who played Kalios, they want you to run this card because you're able to proc its ability twice in one turn if you have BBS, which is nuts. Now, its ability is really strong. Like I said, it hits generals and minions, so this helps you cut down the swarm. This is a nice minion. I'm glad it doesn't have flying. It has wings, but no flying, and I brought that up on Reddit. I was like, it has wings, why no flying? But I said it jokingly. I'm pretty sure if this thing had flying, it would be probably broken. But now if we move on to the ways this thing can move, there's a lot of things in the game that can make this thing move. In Songhai alone, there's 2 that stand out, and I think everyone knows what that is. That is Jux and Miss Dragonsteel can move this thing around. And a 3/5 after Miss Dragonsteel isn't that bad of a card for 4 mana. So if you move this and you hit your opponent, you know, Miss Dragonsteel, deal 2 damage everything around, then you move it again, deal another 2 damage around, that's a lot of damage, and then you're going to punch them for another 3 to face. That's crazy. That's crazy if you think about that. You're going to be doing a lot of damage with this card. I think it will see play. The only problem with this card is that it's going to be fighting for that spot. 4 mana spot is hard to replace in Songhai because you want to run things like, you know, 4 Winds and Spelljammers because you want to keep your hand refilled when you're playing Songhai, and Spelljammer is the best card to do that. So I think it's a good card. I definitely think it's going to see some play. You know, I think it's going to see play more of in a minion-based deck. Probably Kalios is where this thing's going to shine the most, and hopefully we do see a Kalios deck that comes around, man. Kalios to S tier. But nonetheless, let's move on to the next card. This next one is pretty interesting. This one's a neutral card. He's a 2-mana 1/2 minion. His name is Sinister Silhouette, and he cannot be attacked. He's a neutral Pado, basically. Most people think, when they think this card, they think to just buff it, put Provoke on it, put Cosmic Flesh on it, put any kind of Provoke on it, and then sit it next to your opponent, and now they can't do anything. Now, if they dispel this, so be it. If they dispel it, so be it. If they don't dispel it, this thing could be a big threat. Now, we have things like Quartermaster in the game, which nobody plays anyway, and it's kind of like this card. You know, he can't take damage from generals or minions, which is basically the same thing as this. Basically cannot be attacked if you're playing that card because no one's going to attack it unless they dispel it. The same with this. Unless they dispel it, this card is just going to sit on the board and be annoying. It's going to be a card that they're going to have to dispel. Now, even if they don't dispel it, early game when you play this card, you can play it just as a body blocker for tiles, and it's going to make your opponent position weird so you can take tiles more efficiently, or you got to do whatever you got to do. You know, I don't know if any of you have ever, you know, had a Pado on the board and you used it to your advantage after your opponent, you know, hit you with that Pado. I'm sure most of you have, like myself. You use your Pado to your best advantage, you body block with it, stuff like that, and I think that's where we're going to see this card. I don't think it will see a ton of play, but in the decks it does. It's probably going to see cards that, decks that have a lot of buffs, kind of like Magmar or Vitruvian, and that's probably about it. But yeah, I think it's an interesting card for a 1/2 though. But let's keep moving on. The last card I'm bringing you is another neutral card. Now, this card is a 6-mana Arcanist. His name is Mage Sworn, and he's a 3/8. And he has both players cannot cast spells that cost 2 or less. That means your BBS, folks. So, this guy shuts down Arcanist, and he's Arcanist, which is absolutely weird to begin with, okay? I don't think this card's going to see play. Let me just say now, man. I don't think it's going to see play because I think after the meta changes, I think Vaynar Arcanist isn't going to be on top anymore anyway. And I think that right now, unless there's another deck that comes out that abuses cheap spells in the deck, I doubt this thing's going to see play. No one wants to play a 6-mana 3/8. Even as an Arcanist, it's clearly not going to see play in Arcanist deck. So it doesn't even push that archetype. It prevents that archetype from even, you know, being good, because the only time that's good is in Songhai, or not Songhai, I'm sorry, Vaynar. It's awful in Songhai. It's not even playable in Songhai. But yeah, I don't think it's going to see play though. I like that we have it in the game though, right in case we get another deck like Vaynar Arcanist where they just abuse cheap spells and do very well. So Mage Sworn, I think, is going to sit on the bench for a while. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. Oh, there is, I'm sorry, one combo I want to talk about with this card before I take it off your screen. Now, someone mentioned it. I forgot who it was. I think, oh, who was it? It was one of the pros. They brought up a combo you can do with this with Sphinx, making it so they can't replace, which is crazy. If you have the if you use Sphinx and you put that riddle into their hand and they can't replace the riddle, that's crazy. But anyway, it's not worth playing for just to make this card work. It's not worth playing, but it would be a funny combo if it did happen. But anyways, that's really all I have for you guys today now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know if I missed anything about any of the cards we talked about. And as always, I'm your boy Cloudzo. Hope you guys keep on dueling. I'll see you guys next time.